Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to this audio podcast. As part of this Ghromulin series. This audio podcast as part of the Photon Saga, and this audio podcast as part of a Storm Robotics production. So today, looking at ischaemic preconditioning. So the mechanisms involved in ischaemic preconditioning involve intricate pathways that cross-talk between various triggers, mediators, and end effectors. The period or duration of the pre-exposure and the number of times the tissue is exposed to ischemia, that is the lack of blood flow, and reperfusion vary, and the average being anything from 3 to 5 minutes. Ischemic preconditioning markedly reduces ischemia-reperfusion injury in most human tissues and has two main phases. An early ischemic preconditioning phase, also known, for example, as classic or first window, occurs within several minutes of the preconditioning stimulus and lasts for approximately up to 6 hours. For example, a late, also known as a delayed or second window in around ischemic preconditioning effect occurs within 24 hours of preconditioning stimulus and lasts anything up to 96 hours. Unlike early ischemic preconditioning, late ischemic preconditioning protects not only against myocardial infarction but also against reversible post ischemic myocardial stunning, because of the approximately 50-fold longer duration and the sort of more powerful protection by late ischemic preconditioning. So considerable intrigue has been focused on the late or the second window of protection after the early in vivo investigation. So, for example, works by Murray and Jennings and Rayner in around the late 1980s, around 1986. More than 3,000 original article had been published addressing various aspects of the molecular mechanisms of ischemic preconditioning and its pharmacotherapeutic sort of viability. Many mechanistic features of ischemic preconditioning also share principles with the protective methodology known as remote ischemic preconditioning, or RIPC. Uh, in the following in a subsequent audio podcast as part of this Ghromulin series and as part of this Photon Saga, there will be a look at another schematic, another schematic that looks at an overview of the signaling pathways signaling pathways underlying the ischemic preconditioning phenomena. That draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast is part of the Ghromulin series. This audio podcast is part of the Photon Saga. This audio podcast as part of a Storm Robotics production.